Hi, my name is Kelly and I'm an educator at the Walker Arts Center. Today I'm going to take you through a workshop where we'll move our bodies, learn about some artists, and connect with each other from far away. We're going to create a series of dances together using scores that were made up by artists who have artwork in the Walker Arts Center collection. Do you know what a score is? A score is a set of directions or rules that we'll follow to guide our movements. Some artists like to give instructions for us so that everyone who sees their instructions can follow them to make their very own artwork. Other artists have special techniques they use that make their work stand out. We're going to try following scores or instructions by 3 artists, and then we're going to try out special techniques inspired by 2 other artists. After that, I'm going to give you a challenge to make on your own. Are you ready? Throughout the video, I'll be asking you questions and giving you instructions. If you need more time to think about a question, or you'd like to play with a movement for a little bit longer, feel free to pause the video. Take your time. Let's get started. First, let's warm up so that our bodies are all set to get moving. Make sure you pay attention to how your body feels and take care of yourself. Give yourself enough space to move around safely. Take a break if you need to. Grab some water, lay down on the floor, sit in a chair, whatever you need. The most important thing is to have fun. All right, find a comfortable, relaxed position. I'm gonna stand. Take a big, deep breath in and make your neck as long as possible. Breathe out and bring your chin down to your chest. Breathe in. Roll your head over to one side. Breathe out. And back down to your chest. Breathe in. And roll your head over to the other side. Breathe out. Back to center. And now we're going to reach our arms all the way up over our head. We're going to reach for the sky. And now we're going to carefully bend at the waist and reach for our toes. Take a couple of big, deep breaths here. In and out. And wiggle your toes. And now we're going to float our arms all the way back up over our head and reach for the sky again. And then we're going to stretch out to one side and take a couple deep breaths here. And come back to center. Now we're going to stretch out to the other side. Have a nice deep breath here. And back to center. And now float your arms back down to your side. And now we're going to have a 10-second shakeout, okay? Ready? We're going to shake our whole bodies. Get them nice and loose. We're going to count down together backwards from 10. Are you ready? And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now that our bodies are nice and awake, the first score we're going to follow is by Yoko Ono. She's an artist, a musician, and an activist who often makes work that encourages people to connect to each other through love, peace, and playfulness. We're going to try a piece that she wrote in 1964 called Animal Piece. Here are the directions. Take one movement from one kind of animal and make it yours. Take another movement from another kind of animal and make it yours without dropping the first movement. Keep adding movements and sounds from different kinds of animals. Okay, are you ready? Choose your first animal and think of a movement. I'm going to choose waddling like a pin. Now that I have my first one, I'm going to add my second one. And I will wiggle my nose like a bunny while I'm still waddling like a penguin. Add your second movement. Now let's add a third one. I'm going to move my head like a robin, hunting for a worm. But I'm still going to wiggle my nose like a bunny and waddle like a penguin. Okay, do you think we can add one more? Let's try it. I'm going to bark like a dog. Ready? Woof, woof, woof. But I'm still wiggling my nose like a bunny and moving my head like a robin and waddling like a penguin. Keep going. You got it. Woof, woof. Wow, great job. Can you think of a name for the animal that you just created out of all those different creatures? The second score we're going to try is by Yvonne Rainer. She's a dance maker and a film director who likes to experiment with using everyday movements in her dances. She made up a special score for us to do while we're all at home. It's called Passing and Jostling While Being Confined to a Small Apartment, which basically means bumping into stuff or moving past it while you're stuck at home. Here are the rules. You can move in any direction or you can be still. Let's start with that. Pick whether you're going to move or be still. Okay, if you're being still, I want you to really freeze. And if you're moving, I want you to find a very steady rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay on the rhythm. Keep moving. Now, if you're moving, you can either pass or jostle. Passing means you move by the other people or the furniture in the room very, very close without touching them. Jostling means you bump very lightly into people or furniture. Make sure to be gentle. If you're being still and someone jostles you, that means you can move again. It's almost like freeze tag, but we're still going to follow our rhythm. You can move, sit, or stand very carefully on a chair or the bed or the couch, as long as that's allowed in your house. Yvonne Rainer would allow it, but it's okay if your space has different rules. You can wrap your body around the furniture, you can pick things up and put them down, you can even wash your hands, but you have to keep that same steady rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm jostling the wall. I don't have anyone here with me. Jostling the wall. Feel free to pause the video so that you can keep this going for a while and play with the people that you're with. Don't forget to stay with the rhythm, passing and jostling. Come back when you're ready. Was that what you usually think of when you think of dancing? There are a lot of dance makers whose dances don't look like what we would usually expect. The third score we're going to do is by Simone Forti. She's a dance maker who loves to experiment with using sounds in her dances. Have you ever thought that using our bodies to make sounds could be a dance? We're going to try out a score from a book she wrote in 1974 called Handbook in Motion. Here are the directions. One person shakes a pan full of nails very loudly, while another sings a song very loudly. The volume should be in perfect balance. Okay, I'm gonna need your help. I'm here by myself, so I'm gonna need you to sing a song very loudly. You can sing any song you like as long as it's loud. I will shake the pan. Are you ready? Do you have your song? Sing. Keep going. Louder. Louder. job. How did that feel? I liked that we really got to work together on that one, even though we're not in the same room. Can you think of some other ways for you and the people you're with right now to create interesting sounds together? Maybe using stuff that you have around your house? The next dance we're going to make together is inspired by Merce Cunningham. He was a dance maker who liked to use chants to help create his dances. Sometimes he would even use dice to help decide what movements he and his dancers would do. We are going to create our very own chance-based score together right now using these 2 dice that I made. On this one, the sides say forward, backward, sideways, up, down, and spin. On this one, the sides say bounce, lean, gesture, touch, reach, and freeze. We're going to roll these 2 dice 5 times to come up with the pattern of movement that we'll do. And then we have to do what the dice tell us. I have no idea what this is going to look like. Are you ready? Okay, here's our first roll. All right, we are going to lean sideways. I'm gonna write this down for our little score. Lean sideways. So let's try out leaning sideways. You can lean to either side. I'm going to lean this way. Okay, lean sideways. Next, second roll. We are going to reach up. Okay, reach up. So let's try that. I'm going to reach with both arms. You can reach with one arm. You can reach with another part of your body. Reach up. Beautiful. Okay. Next roll. We are going to bounce, spin. Okay. Bounce, spin. Let's try that. Can we bounce and spin? Can we bounce all the way around in a spin? That's what I'm going to do. So you try anything you like. Any way of bouncing and spinning. All right, fourth roll. We're going to touch forward. I'm going to try reaching towards you, touching you. So touch forward. Cool. And last one. One went to the floor. We're going to gesture down. Okay, so gesture down. Gesture can be a movement of your arm or your hand or your head or your leg. Let's gesture with a leg. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to try gesturing with a leg. Down. So gesture down. Cool. All right, so this is our score that we just made up. Lean sideways, reach up, bounce, spin, touch forward, gesture down. Let's try that a couple of times, okay? Then you can experiment with different ways of doing those things, okay? So let's start with lean sideways. Reach up, bounce, spin. I'm going to keep reaching. Touch forward, gesture down. Let's do it one more time, and let's try and do some things differently, okay? We'll just experiment. Okay. Lean sideways, reach up, bounce, spin, touch, forward, gesture, down. Cool. You can try it a few more times if you like, and really shake up those movements. How many different dances do you think we could come up with using this method? So many, right? Last, we're going to try out a special technique that we're borrowing from an artist named Trisha Brown. She was a dance maker who also did a lot of drawing. One of the ways that she would create drawings is by dancing on top of a big paper while holding chalk or paint or charcoal or other drawing materials with her hands and her feet. She did this at the Walker Art Center in 2008. Can we try something like that? There are lots of options here. I have a big cardboard box that I flattened out to use. You could also spread out some paper or newspaper or an old sheet, or you could go outside to the sidewalk with some chalk, or you could even just imagine that you're on paper. When you have your surface ready, or your imaginary surface, find a crayon or some chalk or a marker. And if you're using an imaginary surface, you can make sure you use an imaginary paintbrush like this. Okay, let's hold our crayon or our marker or whatever we have, our imaginary paintbrush, somewhere different, somewhere unusual, like between our toes or in the crook of our elbows. We can try laying down on the floor, on top of our paper, or we can stay standing, or we can sit in a chair. But we're going to use the dance score that we just created with help from Merce Cunningham and the dice. And we're going to perform that dance on top of the paper while we hold our crayons or chalk to create lines and shapes. Okay, are you ready? Might not look exactly like it did when we performed it before, but that's okay. So I'm going to grab a couple markers and see if we can see my canvas here. All right, so get those markers in between your toes or wherever you'd like to put them. I'm going to have 2 between my toes and 1 in my hand. Okay, and we're going to get ready to perform our dance. Here we go. So let's lean sideways, reach up, bounce, spin. An experiment, getting your hands down here if you have one in your hand. Touch forward and gesture down. How was that? I'm going to do that a couple more times. I want to show you my drawing here. I think this is pretty cool. Do you see this? Does it look anything like yours? If you're using an imaginary canvas, can you describe what kinds of shapes you were making with your imaginary paintbrush? Thank you so much for moving your body with me today. I would love to see photos or videos of you dancing. You can tag them at Walker Art Center. But before I go, I have a challenge for you. Can you create your very own original movement score? Can you make up a set of instructions that other people could follow? You could create your own special set of dice, like I did for our chance piece, or you could write out a set of rules, like this. Go outside and listen to the sounds. Make a list of all the sounds you hear. Create a movement for every sound on your list. Perform all of your movements one after another without stopping. Could be something like that, could be something totally different. If you do make your own score, I would love for you to share it on social media for other people to perform. That way we can all keep connecting with each other through sharing our creations. Share your score with the hashtag Walker Art Center. I can't wait to see what you come up with.